Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Catherine from Dryer Days Art Studio. Thanks so much for being with me today. I hope you can all hear me all right. It's pretty early. I'm just waking up and I wanted to do the voiceover for this video. So this is my first attempt at spinning and it's kind of comical. I think it came out pretty well, but it was my first attempt, so I'm kind of leaving that there for judgment's sake. As you can see, I just added in a little bit of silicone to a few colors, not all of them. And I am using my dimethicone silicone. And here I'm just adding in my paint colors pretty quickly. I sped this up a little bit for time purposes. And actually, I really like how these colors were meshing together. Sometimes I just go into my big bin of paint and pick colors that are speaking to me that day. I'm not really sure how they're gonna go, but I really liked how these were looking. So now here you could kind of see there really quick. I taped the back of my canvas, which I've been doing, which keeps them nice and clean in the back. I use the blue painter's tape. And if you caught a glimpse of my turntable there, it is an 11-inch cake turntable that I got on Amazon. I'm curious to know what you guys use because this was definitely a trial and error. It's about an 11-inch, like I said, and this is a 12 by 12 canvas. So the canvas was fitting on there pretty well, but it was kind of loosey-goosey. I was having problems keeping the canvas put on the turntable. I did eventually try to put tape on the back of a second attempted canvas to keep it there in place on the turntable. I just think this is really funny. You can see how timid I am, and you can see that I'm readjusting because the canvas was shifting off of the turntable. I did really like the colors here, the painting. I'm kind of bummed that I even messed with it, but again, this was an experiment. I wanted to try the turntable. But the colors, like I said, were kind of surprising me how lovely they were just going together. And you can see from the spinning and from moving it around, the colors were getting a little bit muddy. I do want to encourage you guys, please come check out the Facebook group that I've started, Acrylic Pouring and Fluid Painting. I wanted to add a little bit more depth here. Everything was just getting a little too muddy, so I wanted to try to add and spin. So I added some of that darker blue that I had used in the beginning. And I was just really kind of timid and nervous to spin this thing because the painting started flying off the turntable, especially as there was more paint getting underneath the canvas and it was wet. And in addition to that Facebook group, if you want to check out my Patreon, I did start a Patreon page, www.patreon.com/dryerdays. There will be special incentives for my patrons. It was at this point I was kind of noticing I just wasn't getting a lot of speed with the turntable and speed lasting a long time. As you can see there, I would get speed for maybe 3 or 4 turns, but then it would just slow down and stop, and I'm really having to go in and spin a lot. I don't know if maybe I need a motorized one. My husband said he could put a motor in this one. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I do like the movement of this though. Especially with these flow and fluid paintings, there's a lot of movement to begin with, and adding this aspect of the spinning, I really like it. I liked how this one started to look. It didn't look too much to me like that spin art that we used to play with in the 90s. I will have links in the description to all of the products used, including this turntable. I do like the turntable. I just need to figure out how to keep the painting put on there. Like I said, I tried the tape. That worked a little bit. I had a painting I tried the other day where I taped it down. Didn't work so well. I do want to be getting into larger paintings doing this, so I will need a bigger table. So if any of you have input out there that you've tried this technique before with the spinning, please let me know what you're using and what's working, and if you'd like to see me try something different. Again, this was my very first attempt, and I had only really watched maybe 1 or 2 other videos on YouTube of people doing this. I try not to watch too many other YouTubers because I think it kind of can influence my creative process, and I try to be original with what I'm doing and not be too influenced. But I do love seeing other artists and, you know, being inspired by their work. I just don't like to feel like I'm being influenced, so I try to sort of limit what I'm watching. But I would love any input or your own experience with using this technique, because as you can see here, I mean, I think this is looking pretty cool. I like it. I like the effect. I like the look. I know this is, you know, we joke among each other as these pouring artists that this is sort of a chaotic process. There's not a whole lot of control, but I like to feel like I have a little bit of control, especially over my tools, and so I would like to have a better grasp over the turntable and the spinning apparatus in general. Wanted to give a few last spins here, see if it would go anywhere else. I just love the way that dark blue ribbon through there. It almost looks like a fishbone spine or something to me. It just looks so cool. You can see getting some nice cells in there. I did use that dimethicone silicone and I torched it, as you probably saw. Going around kind of cleaning up my edges because there was a lot of paint getting around the sides and getting underneath the canvas, which I had covered with tape, so they'll be nice and clean, but the rim of the canvas was right on that turntable, so the more paint was getting under there, the more wet it was getting, the more it was slipping all around. And here it is, the final piece. It's still a little wet, but I'm pretty happy with it. Lost some of the colors in there. Can't really see a lot of the green or orange, but a little. I can see it. Nice dimension, separation of colors. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep on painting.